Hello, welcome to our new podcast, CCU Now, where we talk about films that are out now as opposed to older films which were out before now.
Everything was out before now.
Yeah, no, even this technically was out before now. We're talking about Johnny English. Our ticket said Johnny English 3, but it's got a real name,
It's
Johnny
called
English.
Johnny English Strikes Again.
Strikes Again, yeah.
Maybe Strikes Back Again, I don't know.
Strikes Back, Strikes Again, Strikes Out, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. Because he does kind of strike out. He doesn't really get with
anybody
in this film, because he's a bit too dopey to have
relationship sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm Matt, because I forgot that part. I'm Matt.
Yeah.
This is Seamus.
Hello.
You always say hello like that. Hello. So, should we do our synopsis first? Our quick fire synopsis?
Yeah, we can start with. Well, that's not what it's called, is it?
It's a quick fire synopsis. What did I call it last time? Like the super fast synopsis or something, and you came up with your name,
Which is Gone in 30 Seconds.
Gone in 30 seconds.
If you didn't know, Like My Girlfriend is a play on the movie Gone in 60
Yeah, she
Seconds.
didn't know that.
Where Nicolas Cage steals cars. I don't know if we explained that in the last episode, but obviously I don't want. If she watches it, and she's the only person who does, apart from us, then
You don't want to say that. I was about to say let's bitch about your girlfriend a bit more. Let's change the theme of the podcast.
This is neither the time nor the place for that.
Right.
There will be a time and a place, but this is not.
This is not the one. Okay. So I'm doing 30 seconds this time.
Yeah, so I'm going to count you in, and in case you're not an avid watcher of the podcast, the way it works is I'll count Matt in, and then he's got 30 seconds to explain what this movie was about, and that is the only explanation we will give. So if you've not seen the film, you probably want to pause now and go watch it, or hope that this 30 seconds explains the whole 90 minutes.
Don't encourage people to pause our podcast and click off it.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't you just pause our podcast and watch the film instead?
Pause it, load it up on your phone, go and watch the film, and then the moment the film ends, stay in the cinema and then watch the end.
Because you care about our opinions on the film.
Yes.
Really care.
But you would only watch, the only reason you would watch this is if you cared about our opinions.
Yeah, definitely.
So no one's going to watch this.
Okay,
right,
so you're going to give me
I'm
30
count
seconds.
I'll count you in 1, 2, 3, and then I'll say go.
Okay.
And then that's when you've got to go.
Right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2.
You said 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
No, go on, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Johnny English. No, not Johnny English. Oh yeah, Johnny English is teaching some kids at a
Good
school.
start.
Can we start again?
No, it's
You
the
spoke
count
it in
the time,
mine.
Johnny.
Oh my god, right.
20
So
seconds.
the Prime Minister needs someone to stop this guy who's hacking the British government and messing shit up, like stopping traffic and all this. And all the agents have been like, not disavowed, but all the agents have been like, all the names have been given away.
Yeah.
So they can only use these old agents who aren't on the database, one of which is Johnny English, who's now teaching geometry class at a school, and then
That's it.
That's it. That's not funny. We wasted the first 15 seconds and you spoke, and I had to respond to you.
Listen.
That was like a 10-second synopsis.
I don't make the rules.
Gone in 10 seconds.
I don't make the rules.
You did. You made the name and the rules.
This has been around for a long time.
Right.
People have been doing Gone in 30 seconds for literally weeks.
Yeah. Last week.
We can't just go and change it now, can we? Sometimes things go wrong. This is show business, mate.
Yeah.
Don't get your head down.
Well, next time we'll get it. I think you pretty much failed last time when you did it as well.
I completely failed.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what.
Because 30 seconds is way faster than you think it's going to be.
It is, yeah. It really is not that long. I think we'll probably be sick at it if we keep doing it.
Yeah. In about 10 podcast time or something, we might be able to get half the film in 30 seconds. I'll give you the premise at the start of the film.
Yeah.
Johnny English gets called in by the government.
Yeah, it's just
and someone's hacking them.
You did essentially tell us, like, someone's hacking the government and he gets brought back because he's the only one that's not been found yet.
That's pretty much how it works.
And then he gets up to his usual shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Falling over and throwing things at people.
The physical comedy in this movie is great.
Mm. You really like it, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about this? By the way, we should start with that. Did you enjoy Johnny English Strikes Back again, or whatever it was called?
I think more than I thought I would, because we picked the film as a film that we thought was going to be bad, because we do a lot of really good films on here, especially when we're doing like ones of the past, because we've seen them before. At least one of us has seen them before, and we know it's somewhat decent. So I knew Phone Booth was all right.
Yeah.
You knew Predator was good.
Lethal Weapon.
You knew Lethal Weapon was good. So it's like we were prepared for decent films.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, we kind of assumed it might be a bit shit. But then I actually enjoyed it a little bit, because it's just classic Ron Atkinson. It's Mr. Bean as a secret agent, really. Is what it is.
I liked it in spite of myself. I didn't want to like it because it was us. We've just been to watch this movie today, and we were in the cinema with loads of children, and we definitely enjoyed it more than the children. And all the trailers before were for kids movies, and I was like, we've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
but I actually really liked it, and they all thought it was shit. Apparently,
That's what it seemed to be.
they didn't really get it. There were a lot of like on the edge adult jokes that I don't think kids got.
Yeah. Well, it did. Like, there was some bits where there was. I think, what's her face, Kate Blanchett, who was playing the Prime Minister. At one point, she just went up my ass.
No, it was Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson.
Yeah,
sorry,
she
was just like up my ass. And I was like, what? Excuse me. And all these kids were just sat there in the cinema.
Do you think she was supposed to be Theresa May?
I thought part way through I thought that, because she was a bit like, I'll do anything to be popular because everybody hates me all the time, which is Theresa May's life. And she had like a short haircut, and she's a female prime minister who's sort of old.
Yeah, and she wasn't Margaret Thatcher, and there's only one other one.
Exactly, yeah. So it has to be Theresa May. I think so. It was just like, look how stupid she is. She relies on this secret agent. So I think it's like a wink and a nudge at how shit Theresa May is.
Yeah, and then at the end, when it all goes wrong, she just pretends it was all her idea after all. Yeah. When he solves it, she's like, it was mine.
Until his pants fall down, and then she's like, well, I made a big mistake. That was good.
There's so much... This movie, like almost all Rowan Atkinson things, if someone just sat down and told you about it, which we're doing now, you don't, it doesn't do it justice. You need to go and watch Rowan Atkinson's Pants Fall Down to understand how funny it is.
do you have a favourite slapstick moment? Because when I was watching it, I tried to remember a few. I remembered one.
Well, you tell me yours and I'll think of one while you're talking.
And it's like it's the simplest one out of all of them. It's like, it's before he eats that really spicy peanut, and he's got his thing of his hand in front of his mouth, he's going blah 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 blah, and she's sat in front of him and he's just going blah 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 the whole time because it's too hot. Just before that, he's like trying to be cool, and he picks up an olive and throws it at his face and just hits the side of his face and flies behind him.
Someone falls on.
Yeah, and then a waiter just walks past and slips on one olive. He falls on the floor. That was one of my favourite bits.
That was very funny. My favourite part is where he's dressed as a knight, as a disguise, and he can't get out of it. So he puts oil on the suit to try and make it slip off. And then he runs into the G12. There's a lot going on here. He runs into the G12 summit and slips, and he slides down the steps, slides all the way through the middle, and then out the doors, and he closes the doors on the way back.
Because he's trying to grab onto something to stop himself from falling, and he closes the doors right behind him.
It's so funny, and then they just continue like it never happened.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. There's some great. There's just him being.
Well, he has that little like, it's like a box of sweets he's got, and the guy who like works for him, who's a bit like pandery to him, is obviously way smarter than he is, but for some reason thinks that Johnny English is a god.
Which is it Ben Miller?
Is that Ben Miller? Yeah, because I've seen him in loads of stuff before.
Yeah,
that's him. Yeah, he looks a bit like that other guy who's Welsh. What's he called?
Oh,
he does. Not Whose Line Is It anyway? I'm terrible with things.
I don't know.
Would I lie to you? He does that one. Rob Brydon. It reminds me of Rob Brydon.
He looks a little bit like Rob Brydon.
I always get them confused. I don't know why.
Yeah. He's very good in this though.
He's very good. But there's a bit where they have like he has a little box of sweets, and the guy wants to eat them. He's like, if you eat, which one is it? He's like, if you eat a jelly baby, it'll blow the back of your head off, and the top of the roof of the car will come off as well. But the film, that's a spoiler though. Should we say a spoiler?
Yeah, we've spoiled the movie already.
All right, good. Because at the end, like, who is it? Who was about to eat? One is it? Oh, it's the head teacher of the school that he worked at. He's like, oh, I love jelly babies. He's about to put it in his mouth, and Rowan Atkinson goes, no. And then the film just ends. Like, and the credits just roll, and you were just like, so did he kill someone? Is that man now dead?
It ends. Johnny English Reborn Again 4, or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
Is going to be a movie about him being in prison because he blew the top of a man's
head. It'll be really serious. There'll be no jokes or anything either. He's on death row, and he wants to off. But he has
like the Green Mile.
As I'll say, he has a secret power where he touches people and spits out all their pain.
Yeah, and they turn into jelly babies.
Really good, yeah. But the sweets, I was just going to say before, the sweets, like, they all have a special thing. So like the sherbet's like a tracking device or something like that. The sherbet, like licorice thing. Yeah. They're all like traditional English sweets. Mm-hmm. But then he's just like, aniseed balls, and he grabs aniseed balls, throws them along the floor, and then they don't do anything special. The bad guys just slip up. Like, whoa! Yeah. It could have been marbles, it could have been any balls, but he's like, aniseed balls.
And they just cheer from
they could have just eaten those. They were normal.
Do you think that this all the stuff in this? So he's got an Aston Martin. Mm-hmm. It's a James Bond parody.
Yeah.
And it's all Johnny English has always been a James Bond parody. This is the third one. In case you don't know anything about them, they're all quite fun. Like, especially because we were children when they came.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the first one. I'm not sure I've seen them both because they're quite similar.
Yeah.
But I remember the first one. I enjoyed it when I was younger, which is why we thought we might not enjoy this because we're adults, but we actually enjoyed it more than the children.
Probably more than the kids did.
That's very fun.
But because these are English, do you think that resonates with like American audiences. I've not seen the figures, so I don't know whether it does.
I don't know. I'm not sure if they would go and see because they go and see James Bond.
Yeah.
So that's big. So they know it's a parody of that, and Austin Powers is like a parody of James Bond as well.
Yeah,
And they watch
really
that, but that's basically like an American Johnny English, isn't it? Like so it's that But I think there was a lot to do with technology and stuff in that, wasn't there? So it was all to do with like technology's moving too fast and Rowan Atkinson can't keep up, and that was a really, really, really big theme in there. And then like the Prime Minister is being hacked all the time, which is just like, I don't even know what hacking is. What are computers? Yeah. And she's just getting hacked constantly. She's like, I'm just going to pay this billionaire tech guy to just help me out and then make me look good. But then he's obviously the guy who's been doing the hacking. You can tell from the start it's him. And Rowan Atkinson spends the entire film trying to out him, and every time he gets evidence, he loses it.
It's classic. If you've seen any kind of Mr. Bean or any of these movies before, every time he thinks he's got it, someone just rips it away from him.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a weird underlying theme of like you say, is technology good or bad? Like, and at the start, it's kind of implied that like there's a guy tries to give him they go for the gadget bit that's in all these spy movies, and the guy just gives him a phone, and he's like, you can, for some reason, he's like, your Twitter handle is on there. And all
it's like now you can tweet as the as MI7.
And you can get on the company's Uber account
and free taxi rides, and you get to tweet obnoxious shit from an account.
And Johnny English is like, I don't want that, because he doesn't understand it, because he's old and old people don't know anything.
He's like, give me a gun, and he's like, we don't do guns anymore, sir.
And then that is quite funny. He gets the gun out and he's like, right, I've not done one of these before, here you go. And then he goes in the book and he's like, health and safety rule number 34, you should be aware that the item I have just given you may cause bodily harm.
Yeah, that's funny.
And they're quite funny. But there's a weird, like, when it's starting off, there's like a weird like he goes to get a car and they're all hybrids and he finds an Aston Martin hidden under a sheet. There's like this anti-technology thing going on.
Yeah, but he's like an idiot, so I don't know whether they don't think the film's explicitly saying technology is bad. They're just saying that this guy is stuck in his ways, but he's also stupid, so we can't even use technology anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole scene where he puts on a VR headset where he's supposed to be like breaking into the compound or like or the house of the big tech guy who's hacking the British government.
Yeah.
And he like is supposed to be walking on this like pad on the floor which moves with him, so like he can walk as far as he wants in the game and he stays on the spot, and it's got a lock and unlock feature. And when the two guys are out of the room, like his assistant and the guy who runs the program are out of the room, he's like, I'll try it anyway. Puts it on and then misses the swiping of the unlock because he's got a headset on, he can't even see it, and then just walks through the streets and attacks people as he's attacking people in the game. And at one point, like, he ends up in a coffee shop, and he's like, in the game, he's got two like nunchucks or something, and he's hitting some bad guy in the face, and he's just beating a barista with two big baguettes, two big soy baguettes, and he's like whacking him on the floor. And he's like, sir, what are you doing? And he's like, ow.
He's just like, ow, stop it. Just before that, he thinks he sees a guy in a computer chair, and he's an old lady, and he just kicks an old lady into the road.
Oh, she's in a wheelchair, isn't she? He just
she's
kicks
in a
her into the
wheelchair,
road.
and he just puts his foot on the back of it, and just pushes her into the street, and you see a car like coming towards her.
Yeah. And he gets on that tour bus as well, on the top of the tour bus, and the tour guide is just talking, and John English is walking up to him, and he's just like, oh, what's going on, sir? Do you want to take a seat? And then he's just like beating up the tour guide, and the tour guide's like dodging him and trying to hold his own. And then for some reason, MI7 are holding a meeting in a room with the biggest glass window you've ever seen that just happens to have tour buses go by at eye level height where everyone can look into what MI7 are doing.
Yeah.
And then you can just see Rowan Atkinson fighting him on the bus at the top, and he's just like, we have our best agent on this, and he's in the background. And he just throws him off the top of a 2-story bus, and I'm like, that guy's dead, his back's broken. He's just murdered someone.
The guy, the head of MI7 who's holding the meeting, everyone in front of him can see, but he can't. And the bus drives away, and he's like, what are you looking at? And he turns around and he's gone.
And there's nothing there.
It's like, it's classic. The best parts of this movie are the most ridiculous parts.
Yeah, and it's definitely British humour, which is why I would be dubious as to whether American audiences would get it, because this is just like classic English slapstick.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and I think like America was founded after slapstick was a thing, so they never really get it. I don't know.
But they like Mr. Bean though. Americans like Mr.
Do they really like Mr. Bean?
Yeah,
okay.
So maybe they would like. I mean, it's just so Rowan Atkinson's just so funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
So when he's doing the thing with his face, that shouldn't work. There's a part where he accidentally takes a. This is so telegraphed as well.
Yeah.
There's 2 pills. There's one that puts you to sleep and one that gives you loads of energy. And the assistant guy, Ben Miller, he looks at them and he's like, one of them's green and one of them's red, and he's like, oh, this is the high energy pills, so these must be the sleeping pills. Huh, they should label them. And he puts them back in a bag.
Without labelling them.
And then he's trying to get sleep. He accidentally takes the energy.
Johnny English is,
Johnny English. And he goes down on the dance floor in this hotel and just starts doing stupid dances.
But it's like playing Darude Sandstorm or something. It's like and he's just going. It's like ridiculous. He's just kicking and throwing his arms out, and everyone's sort of ignoring him.
And the woman who's trying to kill him comes down. She's trying to shoot him, and he's just moving his head.
He goes behind a woman, and he's just like this. He doesn't even know she's there. He's just going ooh behind someone's head. But like she's trying to aim at his head from behind this curtain, and she just can't do it. And
then she comes up to dance with him, and as part of the dance, she goes over his head, and she's like gonna garrote him with a wire. And he grabs her and flips her onto the ground and it just dances off.
He dances away from her.
No idea.
Well, a couple of people come up to try and help her. Like, are you okay? And he's just like, I'm going to go, that's somebody else. He walks immediately into a group of about 6 women and he's like, and they're like, oh, hi. And he's like, it's like and then the 60-year-old man busting moves on a dance floor in a white suit.
And then it fades out and fades back in again. And everyone's gone home and the DJ's asleep on the turntable. And he's just still in the middle.
Just dancing. Yeah, and he can't stop. That's so funny.
That might be my favourite.
And then he just falls when they get to like the head of MI7, they go to see him to give him the information that they've got that this guy that's supposed to be helping the Prime Minister is actually the hacker.
Yeah.
And when, as soon as he sits down, he's like, we have information on who the hacker is. He's like, what information do you have? And he's like, what does the name of the hacker mean? It's like, go on, tell me. Then he goes, his name is, and just like falls asleep in his chair, and then he tries to speak after him, and he's just like, just making noises, and he's like, right.
he's just really funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
So this movie, we were talking about this before. Who is it for?
So we thought it was for kids, and obviously the advertisers thought it was for kids because it was all trailers and adverts for children before.
But we enjoyed it much more than kids.
Yeah, but that's happened before. That happened with me and my friend Theo went to watch Frozen at the cinema.
Right.
Because we both don't mind Disney films, and they're quite nice to watch. And it was all kids there. It was like it just come out, and it was like packed with like shoulder to shoulder with loads of people, and it was just like 2 parents with loads of kids everywhere, and no one was there as adults on their own. And like the kids were like laughing a little bit like kids do. But like every time Olaf, that little snowman, did something, we were like, ah! Like, just like 2 grown men like pissing ourselves. Everyone's looking at us like, whose kids are they with? Like, we're just like 2 grown, like 23-year-old men laughing at Frozen in the cinema. So I think they tend to inject in children's films adult humour for the parents.
Interested,
so the parents are interested. But in this case, it was more. I don't know, because it was slapstick, so if I was a kid I would have enjoyed it. But slapstick's always fun. Like, fart jokes are always funny. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
But the other thing about this is it's a sequel to a movie that came out in 2003.
Yeah, so the kids have never seen. They weren't even alive when
they've got no interest in it. And while it's clearly not bothered ticket sales because there were loads of kids in the cinema, and it's half term here at the moment, so the kids are all off. But is it for, like, if you loved Johnny English when you were younger, you definitely like this, but is that who it's aimed at, or is it aimed at like a new child audience? Are they starting a Johnny English franchise?
Yeah, maybe. I feel like it's not fantastic enough for children anymore, because you're either watching an animated film where crazy things happen all the time, like we saw all the trailers for animated films before it, and they all looked really crazy and interesting. And then there was that second film of the Fantastic Beasts or whatever. Is it the second? Maybe the third.
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts 2. Where have they gone?
Yeah, so it's that. So that one. And that's like all dragons and magic, and it's like Harry Potter, and that's the stuff that might be interested. I'm not sure if a kid would be interested in like a bumbling agent fucking up and falling over, but maybe they would. I don't know what kids watch.
That's the thing we don't.
I don't have any children.
This movie should be for people who watched it. It should be for older people who liked the original. Because loads of people love that movie.
Well, that's what happened with Dumb and Dumber, though, isn't it? So Dumb and Dumber was like 90s, and like I love Dumb and Dumber, and I always liked Jim Carrey when I was younger. But like I wouldn't imagine liking Jim Carrey's films now if I hadn't seen them when I was a child. So Dumb and Dumber or Dumb and Dumber 2 was the one, wasn't it? I think the new one that came out. Dumb and Dumber 2. I didn't see it. I saw some of the jokes online, some of the clips from it online. They're really, really bad. And it's like I think it was not as good as the first film, but also it's just like it's for the people who watched it when they were younger. But now we're all old people, and it's like
you're an old person.
I'm an old person.
I'm very young.
We're older people. But yeah, it's like it doesn't. If you're going to make a film from then for the audience from then, you're going to have to make it more adult themed. There's no way around it because these people aren't kids anymore. You can't.
It's so silly. Like, I just don't get it. I hope this movie makes money because I liked it.
Yeah, we didn't
like
it.
should get the plaudits.
It wouldn't have worked without him.
No, it's just a movie about him being put in a situation and doing weird physical comedy, and that's fine. It's really good. It's fun to watch.
So I don't know how much of he did himself either. We should have checked that, see how much he did himself.
I bet it was just improv, because like that dancing scene is just him improv.
Yeah, there's a bit where he falls off the boat onto the next deck of the boat, and that looked like it might have actually hurt him.
Yeah, but he's like pretending that he's getting up and he's like holding his back and trying to
because he's like sitting on the edge of the boat, and then the woman's got a gun to him, and he's just like, if you wanted to shoot me, you would have shot me by now. Which is like the coolest line he's had in the film. And then he rolls off that bit, like, I'm going to roll into the water now, and then just lands on the next deck of the thing. And he's like, it takes him he can't get his leg up to get off the boat. Then he's like, fucking hell.
You know what is interesting in this movie, and this might speak to whether it's for kids or not. He's a school teacher at the start of it, because he's obviously the worst secret agent in the world, so they've sent him off, and he's teaching at a school in Lincolnshire.
But he's teaching them spy techniques instead of geology.
He's the best teacher in the world. He's like the greatest teacher of all time.
They all really like him, the kids as well. So maybe it's going to be like a Spy Kids kind of deal.
Yeah,
he's going to train all these kids to be spies.
And then when he goes back to win a special award, the first thing he does is go and see his class and like show them all the cool stuff he's got.
Yeah. Well, he might as well teach them, because maybe they don't have the same brain problem that he has, which makes him so ridiculous and like prone to fucking everything up. So they might be, might actually be alright agents if he trains them.
They're not as bumbling as he is.
No, because he seems to know what he's doing. He always has a good idea of what he's going to do. He's like, I'm going to do this, and then he just can't pull it off.
No.
But he has the theory now, and he just doesn't have the practice because he's quite rubbish.
We talked about doing a rating, but we haven't actually talked about what it's going to be out of. I think 7.
Out of 7.
Out of 7.
7 iPhones. We'll do it out of 7 iPhones. How many iPhones do you give?
Yeah, because there's loads. This movie is a big advert as well. There's a part where he's chasing an electric car, and it's just like a car advert, like it's in the south of France.
Yeah, and if you said the word Aston Martin one more time, Aston Martin would have to pay millions of pounds. Just
he goes to film something, and he just sticks an iPhone into the camera, and he's like, "I'm filming now."
It's like one of those like rose iPhones as well, but that rose colour or rose gold colour as his iPhone. There's like 2 of them because he gets them mixed up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So that's a big advertisement.
There's a lot of adverts. I mean, he advertises a lot of sweets.
I'm still waiting for graphene to come out, because the bad guy had like what a graphene phone would look like, where it's just completely see-through and has like a picture on the screen.
Yeah.
And I've seen loads of films. Like Iron Man was doing that in the first Iron Man film a long time ago, and everyone's, because graphene is the next thing, isn't it? Where the screen is the phone, and it's just like a piece of glass, and it's like indestructible. But it's still not come out, and still using it in films. It's like some more graphene. There you go. There's a bit more.
They're developing it, aren't they? Still. So how many points, stars, ratings out of 7 are you giving this?
Might give it like a 5 or something.
Yeah.
Because there's not much of a story there, and there were points where I kind of wish it would have pushed the story on a little bit more, because he is just trying to like prove that the guy is the guy hacking, and it's not much of a story really. It's just like the Prime Minister's going to endorse him and like give him a job working for the government, like, do some sort of partnership with him because he, he's good with tech, and then she's completely oblivious to the fact that he's hacking her, when it should be really obvious from the way he's acting.
Yeah, he fixes the problem in like 2 clicks. Like she's like, "Oh, the traffic lights in London have gone on green."
He just presses an on button that he previously pressed
off
on.
He's like, "Hey phone, fix the problem," and the phone just fixes it, and she's like, "Oh my god,
he's really good with it." Yeah, because she's like a stupid old woman.
Emma Thompson, so she's much posher than that.
Yeah. Well, what do you think then? Out of 7?
I think 5.5. I'm gonna go up above you.
Nice one.
I'm setting an early precedent for
maybe you laughed at 1 or 2 more jokes than I did then.
I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
I think having just watched it as well, like in a few weeks, I'm not gonna go watch this movie again. But I had a good time. I really enjoyed it.
We're nice people, really, because I always think like, because there are those people out there who are just like stupid humour. It's just slapstick, and if you go in with the idea that it's going to be rubbish, which we almost did, but we went in with the idea that it's going to be Rowan Atkinson, it's going to be slapstick, and just embrace it. And if you go in embracing what you think it's going to be like, then great. Don't watch it if you don't like that kind of humour and you think you're going to hate it, and then hate on it afterwards.
We actively sought this movie out because we thought it was bad.
Yeah.
But as soon as it was, because we still wanted it to be good. You said to me before it started, you were like, "I really hope this is good because we've come to watch it."
Yeah, exactly. It's like you always want. It's always a nice surprise when you go to watch something shit and then it ends up, because we thought, because I'd just seen all the Mission Impossibles, and I thought Fallout was going to be really shit, and so did you. But then
Yeah.
it was possibly the best one. I don't know how
Yeah.
it happened.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Nice, yeah. And the surprise is nice. Maybe that's why maybe if we weren't expecting it to be shit and we went in, maybe
Yeah.
we would like it less. I don't know.
That's
but
true.
Who knows?
Yeah, cool. Right, well, we are gonna come up now with a segment of some kind.
Yeah, we haven't got a segment for the end, have we?
I might look at the trivia and see if we can do the same IMDb trivia segment we did before.
Okay, so we'll come back. We'll try and do a trivia section.
Yeah.
But for this
See you
new
later.
podcast, we don't really quite know what we're going to do yet.
I'm gonna count us out. 3, 2, 1, go.
So welcome back to CCU now. We're going to do trivia now.
Yeah.
Now. The word now is quite prevalent in this podcast, just so you remember what you're watching. So I'm going to read some trivia to you, and you have to tell me whether it's like true or false. And the name is is it to IMDb or not to IMDb, or is it just to be or not to IMDb?
I can't remember, but it's one of those two, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna think of a new name next week. That's more fun.
Okay, cool.
Because it's about IMDb trivia.
All right, so for now it's to be or not to IMDb.
I want to call it Trivial Pursuit, but that's already taken.
Oh yeah, that's taken. Buy a game. Just buy a game.
By the game Trivial
Buy the
Pursuit.
game Trivial Pursuit. Okay, so I'll read this out to you. So this is
So I have to guess whether these are real or not.
real or not, yeah.
Okay, so you've made some of these up.
Yeah, I made some of these up. So this is the first Rowan Atkinson trilogy.
Oh, that's interesting. Are there 3 Mr. Bean?
Don't know, are the two Mr. Bean films?
I think that's false.
I think it's false.
Yeah.
That's true.
Is that
It's
true?
an IMDb one, yeah.
That's a weird stat.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Not happy
it
about
was the first one on the list on the trivia. I just went for it. Right. So Emma Thompson's role wasn't revealed until the theatrical trailer came out. Her supporting role wasn't revealed at all.
I could say that's probably true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird that, isn't it?
Yeah, I
they
mean,
wouldn't-
she's big, but if you think about the audience of this movie,
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't do it. Because it happened with you've seen the film Seven.
yeah,
They kept out the bad guy. Kevin Spacey's the bad guy in it, and he didn't go to any of the premieres. He didn't go to anything, and they didn't let anyone know that Kevin Spacey was in the film,
yeah,
and he wasn't in the credits or anything at the start. And then people were like, "Oh my god, the bad guy!" Because you don't know who it is until he reveals himself. That the bad guy's Kevin Spacey. That's crazy. That kind of makes sense in a murdery film like that.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson's in the first 2 seconds of the film, so why not put her in the?
she probably filmed all of her bits of this movie in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's
And
just
they
like
just-
what's the shit to do?
Yeah, so they asked her to come to the premiere, and she was like, "No, I can't be."
Yeah, it's so stupid. Okay, there's one.
Yeah. So I've got 1 out of 2
Oh,
so far.
Yeah, you're going out too. I like this one.
Right.
So, Mark Zuckerberg used to used to watch the original Johnny English films when he was younger, and he really liked them. And he wanted to be in this film, and they were like talking about maybe getting him in on it. But then the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal kind of fucked him out of his chance to be an actor for the first time.
I think that that is false.
Yeah, I came up with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good one though.
I could tell by how excited you were.
Yeah,
about
I really wanted to say that.
You'd come up with that one yourself.
Yeah. So in the sequel, Ben Miller's character was cut because he was filmed in the sequel, but they cut his scene completely, so he wasn't even in the second film.
Oh really?
Yeah, only in the
Only in the first one.
only in the first and third film. Ben Miller's character.
I didn't know that.
Well, is it true or false?
Oh right, no, false.
I think it's false.
Yeah,
That's true.
is that true?
Yeah, and you were believing it as well.
Yeah,
I think you went for false.
Because it didn't sound believable. Because I didn't believe it when you first told me, so I was like, that's not true. But, yeah, I remember watching it, but I don't remember. There must be another like silly spy assistant guy in that movie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but he was filmed in it, but then they cut his part. So.
Yeah, he probably just had a quick.
Yeah, quick little cameo, and he's very busy doing actual stuff.
Oh, so we've had 3 and I've only got 1 right.
Yeah, quite good. Well, because mine was ridiculous, my other one. I did. I was just trying to be fun. Okay, so this one. The only way to make the armour shooting look realistic, when he's wearing a suit of armour look realistic, was to use actual bullets, because you can't put explosive charges onto a suit of armour. So it wasn't. I don't think it was Rowan. It didn't say, but it probably wasn't Rowan Atkinson. It was probably like a man in a
I'm
suit
not
of armour.
buying this at all. That's definitely false.
It was false.
They weren't shooting real bullets at a man.
But mine are all really interested in the actual trivia
It's
shit.
really boring.
Yeah. So, right, one more then.
Go on.
Right, so this one's like the only other film that Kate Blanchett and Rowan Atkinson were in together was
You
a
mean
film.
Emma Thompson?
Emma Thompson. I keep saying Kate Blanchett and Emma Thompson were in together was a 1990 film called Tall Guy with Jeff Goldblum.
There's so many parts of that could be interesting.
It's not even interesting.
You couldn't even remember Emma Thompson's
Yeah,
name.
I didn't write down her name. I just wrote like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
It is true.
Is that true?
Yeah, I just didn't write down a name. I just put 1990 tall guy Jeff
That's the
Goldblum.
most boring start I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
all the boring ones are the actual IMDb trivia. I guess because the film's just come out, and also no one really cares about trivia with this film.
Yeah,
It's not.
you've not got the usual like
Yeah.
40-year-old people.
Some of the trivia was just like Charles Dance, Michael Gambon, and another guy played old guys in this film in this scene, and I'm like, yeah, we saw them all. Like, that's not trivia. That's just what happened in the fucking film.
All three of those actors are old in real life.
Yeah, it was like really. That's what it was all like. The only really interesting one, I guess, was the Ben Miller's character being cut from the second film, really, and that's still not
only
amazing.
interesting if you're already a Johnny English fanatic.
Yeah, exactly. Only in that
And
scenario.
you would have known that anyway.
Yeah, you would've.
So
That's literally all I've got.
that was a
yeah.
good run. I think that was good. That was a good second debut. That's what they're called when you do something twice.
Second debut, yeah.
For IMDb or not to IMDb.
Yeah. Well, this is a new podcast, so it's
That's
a
true.
debut for this podcast,
Yeah, exactly.
as it was a debut for the last podcast last time.
And we'll make a new name up every week for you.
We could have a new name for each podcast as opposed to just
that'd be
IMDb,
quite
not to
difficult
IMDb.
though. I think.
This could just be IMDb now.
I only know a finite number of words.
Don't say that. You're a journalist. Don't go into work and be like, oh, they're just like, can you write up this press release? Like, I don't know a finite number of words. I'm just going to use what's in
I
there.
only know 150 words, and they're all the names of the original Pokemon.
That's funny. The whole thing is with Pikachu Squirrel.
Pikachu.
Try and make it sound like a sentence with this Pokemon. Right, this is getting ridiculous now.
And I've got to go to the pub as well.
Yeah, you're going to the pub. You leave me
yeah,
behind.
I'm going to the pub. So I'm going to say goodbye. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye to you too. You're leaving.
I've got to go. I've got to go back to my life as a British secret agent.
Johnny English.
As a very poor, bumbling British secret agent.
But yeah. Are we done then?
Yeah,
Shall I
we're
clamp
See you in a
something?
bit.
Hands.
No, I didn't do that.